Okay. For those of you who know anything about me, you probably know that I have a huge soft spot for sharks, which might seem weird to a lot of you, because usually when the first thing that comes to mind with any kind of shark is some mindless killing machine that's just waiting below the surface for any innocent swimmer to come in so that they can rip their legs off. What I'm here to talk about today is that there's a huge misconception of what these animals are and what they mean to the entire world as a whole. The world is covered in over 75% of water, and what we know about what lives in there only scratches the surface. We don't even know everything about what we have on land, let alone what lies in the depths of the water. So us tampering with the ecosystems can only lead to an unknown future for the world and what we expect for our children and those that come after us. Like the slide says, there are over 360 species of sharks in the ocean today, with only six species that are considered man-eaters. Of those 6, only 3 are documented as true repeat offenders: the great white, the tiger, and the bull. Statistics show that you are more likely to be struck by lightning twice before you are attacked by a shark. Now, what I'm going to talk about today is shark finning. Between the years of 1990 and 2006, there were a total of 973 reported shark attacks. 104 were fatal due to blood loss or at the scene. In the year 2006 alone, the low end of the number of sharks killed for their fin was 26 million. Considering the amount of sharks killed under non-regulated illegal fishing companies, the total reaches an estimated of 76 million sharks a year. Does anybody in here know what finning is, or have heard of it before? Or heard of shark fin soup? Well, shark fin soup is a delicacy in Asia, which is a broth which is mixed with the cartilage of a shark fin. The cartilage itself has no flavor. It's like your ear. Not that your ear has a flavor, but it's the same consistency of your ear. It's only used to make the soup have like a gelatinous texture, and people only serve it to show how high class they are. It's about $100 a bowl, and the demand for these fins is skyrocketing in the last few years. I'm just going to show you guys a quick little clip. It's only a few seconds long, about what they do. Yeah, don't worry about that. I just want you to see this, because this shows exactly what happens. Oh, God. They put it back in the ocean? It's kind of shocking to think. Now, shark finning is the removal of the dorsal, pectoral, and caudal fins from the animal, which is then tossed back into the ocean still alive. The shark will bleed to death if it's not attacked by other predators, or it'll drown. Less than 5% of the fish is used, which means 95% is thrown back into the water just to drown or bleed to death, and is just thrown into trash. Why do they do this? Shark finning is mainly used as a way to obtain fins for the Asian delicacy shark fin soup. Shark fin soup, like I said, is a complete outrage as far as any animal activist goes, or as far as any humane person would go. Now, a few facts about sharks. They're considered apex predators. An apex predator is an animal that has no real predators of its own. It's at the top of the food chain, and it's used, like, without them, the stability between otherwise non-related ecosystems is completely fallen down. So, putting it simply, there's sharks, and the sharks eat fish. They keep the fish intact, because fish can reproduce very, very quickly. Fish lay hundreds of eggs. It takes about 5 years for a shark to mature, and in the last few decades, the size of sharks has gone down because of the fin, directly related to the finning. So these sharks are getting smaller in size, which means they need more fins. So the more they take out, the smaller they get, which means the more and more they're going to be taking out. And also, sharks can only produce about 1 or 2 pups a year. So say that a shark population is depleted in one area. That means the fish population is going to go skyrocketing. The fish are going to then eat the algae. And then the algae population is going to start to die down. Once the algae population dies down, there's less and less oxygen within the water. This has created miles and miles, and this is happening right now. There are miles and miles of ocean where there's nothing. There's no life. You take a sample of the water, there's no oxygen. and it cannot sustain any life. This is killing coral reef, and the water, which is our main source of life, and everything that we have relies on water, relies on getting food from the water, air from the water, anything. Phytoplankton, you may not think about this, but a lot of oxygen is given off of the water due to the top plankton, the ones that actually do photosynthesis. So how can this be stopped? There are a few websites that go through these few websites where there's petitions to get this stopped. The main thing is it's more of an industrial thing as far as the Asian fishing industry goes. So before we can really stop shark finning, we need to crack down as far as policing the oceans go, and really taking a second to understand that we don't know anything about the ocean. We don't know anything about the ocean. And the only way that we're going to be able to sustain as a race and keep the world turning is to put an end to this mindless predation of the creatures that live below the sea, just because we have fears of our own. So anyway, I hope that you guys maybe can take a second to rethink your opinions as far as these predators, as well as other predators go that we seem to hunt down due to a fear, and realize that they're there for a reason, and without them, the stability of every single ecosystem that we have would just fall right off the charts, and we would really have nothing left, and it would be all our fault. So, thank you.